What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Cinema Goodness Podcast. I'm Kahim. It's JP. What's going on, JP?
Man, I am good. Excited about Masters of the Universe and He-Man. And another podcast. So hopefully y'all will enjoy this one too.
Yeah, man, it's good, bro. I'm having fun, man. So one thing is I sent you some feedback that I sent through ChatGPT and Claude, and AI is taking off, man. But how did you feel about the feedback? Real quick.
You know what, man? This is we're starting with honesty today. Let me tell you, I read through the feedback, and I thought there were some really good suggestions there. I had to, not get in my feelings because I felt like, well, dang, I'm being criticized by a computer. But there were some good points there, so I can accept it, and hopefully, you all will see us improving what we do.
Yeah, man. The good news is the algorithm or AI thinks we're talented, and our show has potential. That's one of the good things. I got out of
exactly.
It. It's always some stuff that we need to work on, but
absolutely,
they did give us some peer reviews, if you will. But man, it was good. It was good to read, man. But tonight we're talking about two completely different stories. And I think this kind of become like a theme for us. And they ask the same questions, man. One is about a creator who built so much trust with his audience that a streaming platform actually handed him the keys to the kingdom. The other one is about a prince who spent, his 15 years hiding from who he was and what everybody thought he was supposed to be. And his destiny waited on him on a whole different planet. One story is real, one story is fantasy, but both are asking what happens when somebody finally becomes who they was always meant to be. And maybe more importantly, what happens when you spend years waiting for permission? This is the Cinema Goodness Podcast, people. Let's get into it.
JP.
And this is the Cinema Goodness. What's going on? This is Kahim.
And I'm JP.
And this is the Cinema Goodness Podcast, where we talk movies, all things related to Hollywood,
including your favorite genres and upcoming projects. Join us here for an unbiased and unfiltered discussion from our unique perspective.
So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Let's get into the Cinema Goodness. All right, man. Still kind of shaking. Well, we got a new logo coming up, man. I've been working on it, man. I'm excited for y'all to see it. We got some rebranding and some things going on, but it's exciting, man. Before we get into the film, though, we're going to actually take a look at this trailer. Heart of the Beast, starring Brad Pitt, J.K. Simmons, and Anna Lamb.
Put it there, pal. Damn, you're handsome. It's okay. Come on. Just a bad dream. We're not there anymore.
You are the first person I've ever seen this far out. What kind of line of work are you in, James?
Army Special Forces retired.
Hey, did I notice some silver in your dog's mouth?
Owen was a combat scouting dog. Target hit him in the mouth with a brick.
Same asshole get his leg?
Yeah.
I hope you gave that fella a piece of your mind.
I shot him in the head.
He shot him in the head. This region here is the heart of the beast. Most folks learn that the hard way.
Good job, buddy. We're just gonna have to do this the hard way.
Sally up, I bring Sally down. Last done shot, got a tail to brown. Bring Sally up, I bring Sally down. Last done shot, got a tail to brown.
You can do it. I got you. Easy, fella. We can still do this. We've been through worse. It's not the size of the dog in the fight that matters. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
No, you did not.
One last mission. We're not gonna die out here. Buddy, I got you.
All right. All right. Heart of the Beast, man.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Haven't seen Brad Pitt since F1. Looks like he's been busy. I feel like, did we review that? I feel like we did.
We did.
Okay.
We did review F1.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It was a good movie, too.
It was. Brad Pitt always does good work, man. Can't beat a man and his dog, man. So this is gonna be a cool little film.
Yeah, they are definitely playing up the man and his dog. So they're probably going to make a lot of money off this movie.
Especially if the dog die. If the dog die, it's gonna be a heart wrench thing, man. Man.
The dog with the prosthetic teeth is interesting, though. That's a new one for me.
The silver teeth is cold. It's cold. All right, man. We moving on. We're gonna take a look at a comment that we had on one of our clips. And for anybody that does leave a comment, we do check them out, man. We looking at y'all stuff, and we are engaging with y'all. So please leave some information down, leave some comments down. Let us know that y'all watching, that y'all enjoying the content.
And specifically, which clip was this?
The Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Abuse thing, the abuse clip that we had. It is Elder Yasha. I hope I'm saying that right. Elder Yasha. Michael's brothers said their father not abusive. He was not abusive, and I believed them. The further he got from his father, the more twisted he became. Ooh.
Interesting.
More twisted.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I think that's their personal perspective. I don't know. I haven't seen any interviews with the brother, as the brothers, as far as how they felt about their father. But one thing I know is that every child has their own relationship with their kid, with their parent, rather.
Yeah. And we can't judge, but I feel like, I don't know if the fact that he went away from his father, but I think the fame more so got to him, and he became too big, and I don't think he had enough authentic relationships in his life. If you could call him twisted, I won't call him twisted. I would just say that he was misunderstood, man, and he was a genius. So I don't think he really could relate to people in that way. People probably always,
and I would agree.
People probably always wanted something from him, wanted him to do stuff for him, like he was like a show monkey. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm a person, damn it.
And people, first of all, regular people we don't have any frame of reference to actually understand that. That's why it's important to have empathy, because you don't know what people are actually going through. For someone from literally their childhood to be one of the most famous people in the world, you can't go to regular school, you can't have regular friends, you can't go to the grocery store. And that's why you see him, walking in disguises, because he wanted to try to blend in if he could. And I don't blame him. Because if I'm being honest, other than Janet or maybe Latoya, some of them other Jackson brothers could walk past me on the street and I wouldn't even know who they were.
Right.
And that's me being for real. They can't, even though they grew up around him, I don't believe that even they can understand what he was going through because they weren't him.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm with you on that. All right, man. Moving on. What's going on, y'all? We talking films and all types of good stuff right now. We about to move on to our news break. Here we go.
Absolutely. And let's see if I can get this added to the stage. There we go.
Yep.
So, in our movie news tonight, we are going to put a spotlight here on this new deal that was inked by Kevin Fredericks, KevOnStage, and essentially he has inked a deal with Tubi. They have doubled down with him, inking their most expansive creator partnership to date. Absolutely, like we used to say in elementary. Give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
And this is a great accomplishment, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a great thing. One thing I think people are, they looking at this announcement like it's a deal, man. It's not a deal, bro. It's like it's much more than that. It's like multiple projects, multiple series, like 2 feature films.
Exactly.
Multi-year arrangement. Like this feels like a contract saying, like we building a wing of the Tubi building and putting KevOnStage name on it. Like it's amazing, man. It just shows you the power of the solo creator and like where you can come from. Like what Tubi bought wasn't just the content; they bought the trust. They like, and I think that's kind of like the hardest thing to build in media, like an audience that follows you, because they trust your voice, they trust your judgment, they trust your authenticity. Like you can't buy that. You can't manufacture it. Like you earn it over time. One upload, one show, 1 year at a time.
Absolutely. And it is. I tell you, it's amazing. It's inspiring, and I think that it's something that can apply to everybody, especially in the world that we're in right now. The deal is going to include his new 10-episode comedy series, The Airport. It's also going to give him season 2 of Safe Spaces. But it's also going to include his new comedy special, Grief Sucks, where he offers a heartfelt and comedic take on grief and family, which is premiering February 2027. And then he's going to be doing a holiday comedy and a horror comedy, which is slated for 2027 and 2028. So it's not only the shows, but also a couple of movies. Now, why are we talking about this? First of all, this is a story that should inspire all of us that are creators and those that are interested in this space, because what I would say is consistency is rewarded. You're not always going to win, but if you play and you continue to be consistent, I think that you can be successful in whatever your endeavor is. And that is a universal life lesson. That's why I think it's so important for people who are building something like what we're doing here. And I hope that you can apply it, that we can, those of us that are listening and watching can also apply it, because talking about connecting to your audience, I mean, if you follow his story, KevOnStage was doing Periscope. If you remember Periscope, that was like when you had little short videos that you could do. Then there's Vine and all of that. I mean, he has people that have followed him all the way from there. We used to do his videos in the car just like so many other of these content creators. And now he's inking these deals, most importantly as a Black creator, somebody who's going to be bringing a fresh take on holiday horror, you know, or a holiday or horror comedy or what have you. And people keep saying they want new and they want different. This is the opportunity, not just with this creator. I mean, Country Wayne is, I mean, what he has accomplished. If you follow Country Wayne, I mean, he's done the same thing, building an audience over time through consistency. So I thought this was a good one for us to talk about, because it's Black people creating things that everyone can enjoy, but they do push a Black perspective. And, you know, we get to see that on screen.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Like watching.
Oh, you know what? Now, hold on. I know somebody else who has a movie on Tubi. You know who that is?
I do. Your boy.
your boy, Kahim. His movie is on Tubi as well.
Yeah, man. So it's exciting being in the circle, man.
Yes, sir.
As we continue to grow, especially with the podcast and other stuff we got going on, I'm inspired, man. Just watching it. Watching the journey, it should be like a required viewing for content creators, man. Like, because, you know, one thing, he didn't wait for permission. Like, he built his audience, and then the opportunities came to him. And I think that's the part a lot of people skip. Everybody wanted to deal first, man. Nobody want to put in years and decades of work. Or they get discouraged, man, and that's the real thing too. Like getting discouraged when you think it's going to pop and it don't pop. So you got to go back to the drawing board, man, and put the face down to the grindstone, you know, and just bust it out, man, and keep going. But what I want to ask you is, do you think what KevOnStage did can be replicated? Like, do you think there's a blueprint, or do you think like he's so unique that like it only works because it's him?
No, I don't think that he's so unique that it can't be replicated. I absolutely believe it can be replicated. I think that there are other creators who have done similar to what he has done, maybe not on the level that he has done, but I think it is something that can be duplicated. One thing that I give him credit for, he always keeps pushing, and he is honest about that. It's not always going to be happy, joy Sunday morning. There's going to be failures. Like, for example, he had his own app, the KevOnStage Studios app, KOSS, and he had all of his shows on the app. And so what he learned, and those that follow him, you know, learn how expensive it is to create that kind of content, and just having the app because of all of the fees and the fact that, you know, Apple and Google are making most of the money. So it's something that, you know, his app ended up dying, and he had to shut down the app. But guess what? He didn't stop. And the one thing that I will say is this: he maintained ownership of his shows that they had produced. And a lot of the shows that started on the app or that started in his Patreon are shows that are being picked up right now and brought over, you know, under Tubi or under some of his other deals that he has going on. So definitely it can be duplicated. That's why we're talking about it, because I feel like it can be. But here's the one thing that I admire about him: he brings other people on. He has a circle of friends, comedians, people that he's gotten to know, and he's never been afraid or intimidated by their comedic success. He makes sure to keep those people in the loop with him. And I think that's been a huge benefit, because it kind of created an ecosystem where those people, when they have projects, they include him, and he's doing the same here, and he's bringing all those same people right into this deal with Tubi. I remember when his wife, you know, never wanted to be on camera. Now she's a little bit on camera, but she's working behind the scenes. Yeah. So I think that most definitely he's blessed, because he's put a lot of people on. And that's something that everybody ain't going to have, because some of these people out here, you know, they get a little bit and they get selfish. So I never seen that from him, from what I could tell. from how many people he's put on and from their testimonies about, how he's put on so many different people over the years, from working with All Deaf, to his own app to where he's going now. So kudos, Kev.
Yeah, man. You mentioned something really important, man. I don't want you to skip over it. Like his app. He put his content on his own app and it failed, right? But he didn't fail because the content wasn't good. It's just, it's probably some other things that went on behind the scenes, like you said, the fees and such, that kind of held him back. And that's the main point. Like sometimes you think you fail because what you're doing is not effective, but it's not that. It could be, maybe that's not the lane he was supposed to be in right now. Maybe he could start, once this thing with Tubi pop off, maybe he could go back to having his own app, his own streaming service, all of this stuff. But it's not because what he did wasn't effective. It's just the way things work out, and the fact that he pushed through that and got this whole situation going on with Tubi, it speaks volumes to his resilience and what God is able to do when you persevere and keep going, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, this ownership thing is important for all of y'all out there that you're creating something. The best thing that I can tell you as somebody who's I'm still learning, if you create something, maintain ownership of it. Because, prime example, let's say that, to keep his app open, he went and got an investor and had sold, 50% or, a huge stake in his app. Yes, you might be able to keep the app open, but that may also close the door to some other deal that you may be able to sign, because you are dealing with these investors that have, they may have a different motive than you have. Maybe they don't see the vision. So, I think that, just like we say in Domino's, all money ain't good money. So keep your ownership. This movie that we have coming out early 2027, based on Tomi Adeyemi's books, The Children of Blood and Bone, she went through that very same thing. She has sold the rights to her books to Disney, of all people, and they decided not to do anything with it. And because they waited so long, the deal expired and her rights reverted to her. And I think it's a blessing that happened, because they were going to try to move her out of the way and not give her as much creative control. And now the movie that is coming out is something that she absolutely is completely, in control of for the most part. So the ownership part is so, so, so important. If you create something, we got to sometimes resist the urge to sell it immediately, even if we have a need. Because sometimes the people that will give you money, if they don't believe in the vision or they won't allow you to have creative control, what's the point if it loses its soul, right? Yeah. So stick with it, stay true to yourself. And that's the great thing about his deal with Tubi. Even though he's inking this deal with Tubi, he's continues to own his shows, and he continues to have creative control over them. So hey, if Tubi closes, he can take his shows somewhere else.
Sure, man. Dope, man. He ain't wait for Hollywood to come to him. Like, he created his own ecosystem, man.
Exactly.
He did it long enough for the world to finally start paying attention to him, man. Like, me and my wife, it's funny, man. We on him for a minute, but like, me and my wife was talking about him last week, man, about like people just starting to really find out who KevOnStage is outside of like the church circuit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The Christian community.
Been knowing Kev.
Yeah, man, we've been watching him for a long time.
Exactly.
That's just the power of it, man. Like, keep grinding, and sooner or later, you're gonna get right out of that circle, and you're going go to the moon, bro. Yeah, man. Dope segment, bro.
All right,
man. So we talked about a man who finally found success by trusting his own voice. Now let's talk about a prince who spent 15 years searching for his, getting into Masters of the Universe.
15 years too long.
Yeah, man. 15 years too long, man. Too long.
All right. So we're just gonna do a quick synopsis here. I'm trying to, implement some of the suggestions.
If JP seemed tight for y'all today, man, it's because he got critiqued by a computer, man. He got critiqued by a calculator, and he don't like the results, man.
All right. Masters of the Universe is a beloved sci-fi sword and sorcery franchise following Prince Adam, who uses the mystical sword of power to transform into He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. He defends the magical realm of Eternia and the fortress of Castle Grayskull from the evil warlord Skeletor.
Oh, Grayskull. I have the power.
Right?
I'm gonna say it immediately, man. Like, I had fun watching the film. The cinematography was great, I think. The action sequences was pretty good. The fight choreography hit. Idris Elba did what Idris Elba does, be awesome. I feel
and
like
he didn't die. I was so happy.
He didn't die, man, which was great. I think the director made a good choice. I wish more fantasy films would make, like, they embrace the color, they embrace the source material. This movie felt alive, and it looks like somebody remember fantasy is supposed to feel magical. But I have some criticisms.
Okay.
The movie, it had everything it needed to be great, but I think it spent too long trying to be great. What I kept wrestling with was like a lot of awesome stuff happened, but I think it was cheapened by like some of the quirky dialogue, some of the pacing issues, and like the over the top antics. Some of the antics was just kind of like I felt like it was a little bit too childish at times, but it was still trying to be adult at times, and I don't think that it could figure out what audience it was trying to cater to. But I don't know, JP, what you think? Like, do you feel like this movie actually had to be great, or like did it just be like being entertaining? Like, was that enough for the film?
So here's what I think. I think that the producers and writers of the movie understood that they really wanted to play on the nostalgia. And I feel like that's the main thing that the movie did accomplish. The areas that you mentioned, you're 100% correct. I believe that they were leaning very hard on the nostalgia. I gotta say this though, and like I've already alluded to it. 15 years too long in the movie. It took for Adam to come to himself and be He-Man, but there's definitely this struggle. Is he gonna figure out how to be He-Man, or is he playing a kid in a grown man's body? I think that's the part that annoyed me the most. Once he was an adult, he still felt like he was playing as if he was a kid. And I felt like maybe the movie would have made more sense if, through the magic of Eternia, he could have turned into He-Man as a kid like Shazam did. So he's actually a kid on the inside, but in an adult body, because that's kind of how it felt like he played, like, for a large portion of the movie. It really belabored, like, it was like, come on now, you still playing dumb?
Yeah.
So that
he was moving awkward, like even when he got the sword, he was just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They stayed on that too long.
Yeah. Okay, so the father and son story, like the emotional core of the film isn't really the action, is Adam and his father. Like, we talked about father and son relationships on this podcast a few times. Like, we talked about the expectation, the legacy, pressure, the burden of becoming something more. And Adam spent his earlier years avoiding the thing everybody wanted him to be. Like he wasn't, not because he was weak. I mean, but I think it was because like the expectation of it all, like it was too much for him, and I felt like he wanted to be a kid more than he wanted to be a hero. And I think like the tragic part of it is like by the time he finally became He-Man, his father was gone. You know what I'm saying? His father didn't even get a chance to see it. Like he finally became the person like he was supposed to be, and the one person he wanted to see it, like he never got the chance. And I think that's kind of like I don't know if it's like a heart-wrenching thing or just like do I even care? Because of the way he acted through the whole film, like it was whimsical, it was comedy, but then they try to throw this like emotional piece in there when the father passed away, and it was kind of like I'm not really feeling that part. Like
you didn't feel like you were invested?
I don't know if I was invested when he was fighting, and like they kind of cut to his father, and the tears started like welling up in his eyes because he saw his son become the man. But like he really didn't get to see him like defeat Skeletor or nothing like that. Like I don't know, it was just like they threw it in there, and I understand why they did it, but I don't know if it had that big emotional impact. Maybe as they intended. I don't know. What you think? Like, did it hit for you or not?
The father death didn't really hit very much for me because it's purely because if he was really that concerned with his father, it seems as if he would have made some different decisions as it pertains to once he was an adult. And then I think another issue with this is, okay, you get taken to Earth. You've not kept it a secret that you're from Eternia. You have talked to everyone that would listen to you about going back to Eternia, finding your sword. But at the same time, you have done nothing to prepare yourself to go back. You know you have the sword of power, and you've done nothing. So by the time we get back there, and he's trying to save his father, it's like, well, now, you think you would have prepared yourself for this moment, but you didn't. So it kind of made you useless for like half the movie. And then when we get to this point, the movie's trying to push this emotional thing, and I don't know. I think for me, I wasn't as invested because of that, because of the way they made him as an adult continue acting like a kid. And that's where they kind of lost me. I understand this is a movie based on action figures and toys. I get it. Please don't kill me in the comments. I do understand. But I feel like you kind of have to pick which direction you want to go, or at least figure out a way to bring the stories together so that they mesh and you don't lose your audience. Because I felt like they lost me with how they had Adam played.
Yeah. Like they played him whimsical, childish, things like that. Mm-hmm. But then when he got the sword, it turned him strong and all of these things. But like, was the sword supposed to give him like strength, wisdom, all of these things that like totally transformed him? Because that didn't go over well either.
Correct.
They got some strong points in the movie, but I just think his character choice from Adam to become a He-Man could have been stronger. Like you said, he didn't prepare himself enough for this eventual, like, even if he found a sword, how was he going to be? You know what I'm saying? I don't think they really talked about that part either. He was just like real doofy with it. Like, and I felt like when he became a adult, he was working in HR and things like that. Like he had the body and the build of a man, but the mentality of a child. And I think if they would have had him prepared more, it would have had a bigger impact. Like he's really searching for it instead of just going online, like looking for the sword. Like they would have shown, like even when he went to the gym, he acted like he didn't know what to do at the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff was like, nah,
as a grown man.
as a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like that part of it, I didn't really get with, because if this is a coming of age story, like while he's coming of age, he's preparing to become the warrior. You know, he
exactly.
He wasn't there.
And he kept yapping about it. If you're going to talk about it so much, you would think that you were taking one step there. I mean, he didn't even have cardio enough to just run. And first of all, we got to also, I know when we watch movies, we are suspending common sense and, suspending our disbelief to enjoy it. But when he's grown, you can tell he's a big guy. So it's like, okay, I understand he has to become He-Man afterwards, but even before he's He-Man, you can tell he's a big guy. So it's really kooky for him to not be, he's like, he can't run. He's running all goofy like he's still a 8-year-old kid. That was crazy to me. I was like, come on now, don't insult our intelligence.
Yeah, man. What's going on, Demetrius Harper? Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. That's an inside joke. Yeah. All right, but let me tell you, we got to talk about Skeletor, okay? Because as much as I loved He-Man and She-Ra in the cartoon, Skeletor is at least 50% of this show.
Yeah,
Skeletor is always known for crazy comeback. He's always been slick the mouth. He gonna say something crazy.
Yeah, and
I think they pulled that off. Now Jared Leto has done, terrible at so many movies. He's run several franchises, I think, single-handedly. His face wasn't shown in the movie, but he was Skeletor. I think he actually did a pretty good job. Some of the Skeletor jokes I felt like were a little too adult for me, for a kids movie. And let me not say it's a kids movie, for this type of movie where people will be bringing kids. But I guess maybe, you know what? This movie actually was made for adults. It's because it's about nostalgia. I don't think it was made for kids at all. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I think it was made for nostalgia, man, and the older audience. But it still had a little air of childishness to it. Like, yes. I think that was clever how they kind of blended that in. But I think they blended it in the wrong places at some points of the movie.
Mm-hmm. It was a double-edged sword. Some areas it was good, some areas it messed them up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Jared Leto, man, I don't think a lot of people expected him. Like the performance was huge. Like he was theatrical, funny. And somehow it all worked, man. Every time he was on screen, like the temperature changed. I felt like it got a little darker. I felt like he brought that to the character. And I felt like he gave, and I think that was a beautiful part of the movie. Like, as childish and whimsical as He-Man was and Adam was, that's how much more Skeletor was, kind of dark and sinister, and it kind of made it blend together in a weird way. That was interesting, man. That was interesting to see. But where do you think he ranks as a villain, though? Jared Leto or as Skeletor? Like, do you think because they hinted that he'd come back, man. So
they did.
If
you haven't seen the movie, there are 4 after movie scenes. Not all of them are. There's the mid-credit, there's the post-credit as well, and then there's 2 scenes right after the movie. So there's 4 of them. They not only hinted at Skeletor coming back, but also She-Ra and Orko, and they brought all those in there. So that was pure nostalgia. And I knew the Skeletor wasn't dead. First of all, He-Man is a dummy, so he didn't destroy the skull. If that skull is still there, and they went and let what's her name, Evelyn, the sorceress. That makes me think about Eveline from The Wiz. she come back and get this. She came back and got the skull. So Skeletor is definitely coming back. The one thing, although I really enjoyed Skeletor, I didn't hear that iconic Skeletor laugh. I wanted us to hear that at least at the very end when he wasn't on screen. We heard his maniacal laugh, and it was pretty good. Yeah. But on the cartoon, that laugh goes up high. That it's like a laugh, like a cackle almost, and he sounds completely insane. That's what I didn't hear it. It was almost there. They didn't take it there. They should have taken it there.
We've been seeing some good villain work lately, man. So Skeletor, you got some work to do, man.
He does.
But it was very entertaining to watch. Let's talk about the sword moment, man. Like the whole sword moment. This moment where Skeletor gets the sword and he shatters it and he stabs He-Man with it. And the whole thing was that Adam's looking for the sword. He finally gets the sword. He becomes He-Man. Skeletor gets the sword, cracks it, stabs him with it, and he's on his way to death. And the sorceress tells him the magic was never in the sword, it was always in you. And that's kind of like the big message. He spent the entire movie believing that he needed the sword, the title, the validation, the symbol of the warrior, and then he discovers that the thing he was chasing was inside of him the whole time. And I think that's a strong point though, man. Like, how many people are dealing with that, like, right now in real life? Like, they waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the credentials, waiting for somebody else to validate them.
Waiting for somebody to come save them.
Yeah. And
ain't nobody coming to save you. We got to save ourselves.
They already got the power. It's already inside of you. I think that was pretty cool. A pretty cool message, man. How'd you think that landed?
No, that landed exactly the way it should have. And I thought that was good. I would say that scene was more emotionally weighty than the father scene, because we thinking, is he going to die here? Is he not going to survive? What's going to happen? Because the sword has been broken, and we never would have thought that could occur. But I think that landed exactly where it should. And then it's a callback, because with the cartoons, there was always a moral. That's what the little Orko character is about at the end. They give you the moral. What is the overarching story that you should have gotten from this as a kid? And so they brought that into the movie. That felt good as well, because it hit that, that important point. If you didn't miss it, if you didn't catch it when you were watching, this is what you should have gotten. And it was something we all need.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, man. So I got some honest critiques. The movie struggles because it never fully decides who it's for. Kids, adults, longtime fans, new audiences. It keeps trying to serve everybody. When you do that, sometimes nobody gets the full meal. Some of the supporting cast deserve more screen time. Battle Cat specifically deserved more screen time. He came in towards the end, but I really kind of wanted to see more of him. And maybe in the next one, he'll have more screen time. But in 140 minutes, there are places that the movie could have been tighter. But the reality is the movie cost $200 million to make, and the opening around $50 million worldwide. So it lost $150 million in its opening weekend, which was just disheartening. The creative conversation and the business conversation weren't on the same level. The film may deserve a sequel, but the numbers still got to work. And my question to you is, does box office performance change how you evaluate a movie creatively, or should those conversations remain separate?
I think they should definitely remain separate. I think streaming has proven to us that there are movies that were essentially flops when they first came out, but once they went to streaming, they became cult classics, and people fell in love with those movies, going back and watching them. So I absolutely believe that those are two separate things. Now, my critique of these two things is this. I think that we are making a lot of movies with huge budgets, and I think that the budgets have become overinflated. And because of that, because they have gotten so big, if the movie is not a smash hit at the box office, it's automatically a flop based on, the first weekend's numbers. And we already know from weekend 1 to weekend 2, you're going to have probably a 50% drop. In some cases, if it's a really poor reception, it's like 70% drop off in overall revenue from one weekend to the next. So if you're already way in the hole in the first weekend, they're calling you a flop from the beginning, no matter how good your movie actually was. So yes, they are separate in my mind. I think that the budgets are too big for what you're getting. Okay. And I'm going to give a great example. This is just off the top of my head. The Is God Is movie was a great movie to me. The budget on that movie was like $70 million. Compare that against Obsession or the Backrooms movies that just came out. These are movies that were made for, one of those was made for less than $1 million, or right around $1 million. The other one was $10 million. And they both have gone to box office acclaim. I don't know where the $70 million went to for Is God Is. I know they had some A-list actors. When you got, Sterling K. Brown and Vivica A. Fox in your movie, you got to pay them.
Choices probably and things like that, the set designs, things.
Exactly. But my point is this: when you have something that may not be a smash type hit, maybe it's a slow burn, maybe it's something that people have to watch and then watch again. It may not be the best idea to spend $100 million on that movie or $70 million on that movie, because you put yourself in a position where if you don't immediately make that huge impact that first weekend, word of mouth is going to say your movie's a flop, and whether that's true or not, and then people are just going to choose not to see it because, oh man, I heard that was bad, that was terrible. Whether it was actually good or not. And I think Is God is really low right now. I don't think they're going to make their money back, but it's probably the best movie I've seen this year. One of the best I've seen. So it's a balance. Those things should be separate, absolutely, because you can have a great movie that was a flop financially. And I don't care about the critics because most of them are wrong, and a lot of these audience members are wrong too. So, what do you think? What's your opinion on it?
So I'm with you. 200 million. I could tell where they put it. They put it on the effects. They put it on the set design.
CGI.
CGI, all of that stuff. And it looks great, man. I think they did a great job with the costumes, all the CGI work, the set dressing, all of that. Skeletor looked phenomenal. The sword work, all of that stuff. The effects was amazing. But it is disheartening when you spend that much money and you only get a quarter of what you put into it, and it's a little disheartening. But I do feel like it's a slow burn. It got me excited about the things that may come after that. You see She-Ra. I'm thinking, man, maybe they could do like a Thundercats crossover. That would be live, like expanding this universe, kind of like what they did with Sonic. And I think that's the silver lining in this. It's an exciting film. It's fun to watch, and it kind of leaves you wanting more. And I think if that was a point of the film, then I think they did a great job with that. So it was good, man. Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. All right, now we talked about ownership versus legacy. KevOnStage built the audience first. Adam found the power within himself. Kev stopped waiting for permission, and Adam stopped waiting for the sword. Kev built ownership through authenticity. Kev found power through self-acceptance. In the same story, different costumes, same lesson. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. All right, man. Let's get to the Hall of Fame. Cinema Goodness Hall of Fame. Who's your MVP?
Ooh, MVP for Masters of the Universe. I feel like the MVP is probably gonna have to be Skeletor.
Skeletor. Yes. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Jared Leto and Skeletor, man. I was even the accent that he had and his delivery and how like he was poetic and all of that. It was nice, man. He did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Most iconic moment.
It's got to be when he first channeled the Sword of Power. When he did they told him you got to say the words. That right there, and he had his first transformation right there. That moment.
I'm with you, but I got the second time. The second time he transformed after he found out that he was the power and not just the sword was the power. The power wasn't the sword, man. It was him. He tore Skeletor up, bro. when he was like, I was pulling my punches, and he went in on him. I said, okay. And
that was good.
Punches, yeah.
He had that jaw rattling, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Unsung hero.
Tila.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I like Drunken.
Okay.
His name is Duncan, but it was calling him Drunken.
Yeah. He was drunk most of the movie.
Yeah, and then he came out of that stupor, man, and he got his comeuppance on what's it called? Trap jaw. That
I almost said something. That's one ugly mug he has there.
Yeah, man.
Trapjaw. First of all, they did him great. They captured Trapjaw and all the other characters really well. But man, that mug is ugly.
All right, best emotional sucker punch.
It's got to be now for me. It's back to the scene where we thought he was about to die. So when the sword is plunged into him, and he's feeling like he's about to die, and he's going back into. Well, actually, at that point, Skeletor is playing mind games with him at first, taking him through all these different scenes in his life where he's like, they're essentially saying you're a loser, and you never could be He-Man, and you can have this power and all that kind of stuff, and making him relive all those negative moments. That right there, and then him being able to, be reminded of who he is. That was a great moment.
Yeah. I got one. The date that he went on, and he telling the girl where he from, and then he stopped and was like, "No, what I meant was," and then he go into this whole monologue, and when he look up, she gone.
She's gone. She gone.
She gone, man. It was sad. Well, most punchable, my favorite one. Most punchable.
Okay, I'll let you go first this time.
I got Trapjaw. I ain't like him.
Okay.
Trapjaw, man. I wanted to. They got him. I was happy, but I was like,
you wanted to square up on him, huh?
Yeah, I did, bro. Because I thought he hit him in the neck he jugged him. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was dead. But he didn't die. And then He-Man tore his arm off, shot everybody with it, and he had a new arm. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
This guy gonna die.
He went to the parts bin and got him a new arm.
Man.
I will agree, Trapjaw. Absolutely.
All right, fans. Tonight we talked about two completely different stories, and y'all was here for it. KevOnStage and He-Man. One story happened in Hollywood, the other one happened on a faraway planet. The lesson is exactly the same. Don't wait, man. Maybe that's the question for tonight. What sword are you waiting on? What permission are you looking for? What signs are you hoping somebody else will give you? Because the thing you waiting on is already inside of you, man. Always inside.
You know what? I received that.
Yeah, man. All right, family. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. You got anything else, JP?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm excited. Disclosure Day. We'll be covering that one next week. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, man. Okay. And if all things working out, man, we're gonna be introducing a new format. Not a new format, a new segment next week. We'll keep y'all updated on that. But we'll see y'all next time, man. You have a light that is out of this world. Let it shine and be the richness that this world deserves. Much love, family. Being rich.
Peace.